Oh, hey, how's it going? Happy Friday. Thanks for starting your weekend off right with Nerdy by Nature. While you're listening, feel free to crack open a craft beer. Sit back, relax, have some fun. Did you hear about our website? LetUsGetNerdy.com. There's show notes, fun facts, links, visuals, everything you need from today's show so you too can enjoy the episode. In case you missed anything, it's all there. All of your senses will be happy again. While you're there, feel free to subscribe via the web, Android, or iOS, whichever your heart desires. Feel free to continue the conversation on social media. After the show, beginning, whatever, hashtag, have some fun. Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Search us up. Let us get nerdy. It's that simple. All right, we stretched our thumbs, got our controllers and dice ready, got our beakers out. Let's get to it.
Yo, this is dirty.
Nerdy by Nature here with you. Welcome. Happy Friday. Thanks for joining us. Another one in the books. Wild Bill Steely reached out from our Microprose episode. Good time.
I'm Wild Bill if you're listening.
I'm sure.
Don't say anything creepy, Chris.
I haven't reached out yet. Okay, just settle down.
Okay.
Just easy. This episode though, we're stepping back to 1980. Doug and Gary Carlston in Oregon. They did a wonderful thing. Created a game company called Broderbund. Harv is here to explain what he doesn't or does know about the game. Spent hundreds of hours playing these wonderful games.
I'm here to explain that. Okay.
Sure.
Well, yeah, I was a fan of a number of their games.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Chris knows all about the Tandies, the C64s, the wonderful
Tandies.
games that this lady in a trench coat stared at me beautifully into a screen.
I played a number of these games throughout the years, for sure.
She was a little crazy, though. She always wondered where in the world she was, and she never really understand where's here.
I think she knew where she was. We were trying to find out where she was.
we were trying to find her.
Right. The lost nerds.
Yeah.
Go figure. Thanks, Nathan, for clearing that up.
No problem.
Women are smarter than us. Go figure.
Yeah.
Chris, there's a ton of games.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's so much to list, but let's just go through a few of them. So, Choplifter, Lode Runner, Karateka, Prince of Persia.
Oh, yeah. You guys didn't even know. I didn't even know that was Broderbund.
Yeah.
No idea.
Awesome.
Myst, and Carmen Sandiego series.
Myst, was that an RPG? Action fighter?
Point and
I
click.
think it was point and click, open world,
Adventure title.
Adventure,
Yeah. It's cool because there were so many mysteries. It's the title.
Mysteries.
Boom. You're going to be a great dad someday, Harv.
Sure am,
It's
sure
wonderful.
Yeah.
But no, just that was the point of the game is you would be discovering new things on.
It's all about discovery.
Yeah.
When that game came out, I think people were confused about what to do, but it ended up getting some pretty good popularity, and it just took the world by storm.
Hard driving and stunts. Those were...
Hard driving and stunts. Yeah.
Hard driving was on the arcades for a while. I thought that was an N64 game.
No,
not so much.
I didn't even know that they made that. Like through this research and everything, I discovered stuff I didn't know. But hard driving, I played all the time on my computer, and it was a game that I always gravitated towards in the arcade because you could sit in there. You had a steering wheel,
shifter, pedals.
You had a shifter, you had pedals,
The speakers in your ears.
Yeah.
From the seat.
I mean, it's one of the better games, really, for interaction and pretending to drive when you're a kid, right?
For sure. And then stunts, 4D or 3D,
Yeah,
whatever it was.
3D stunts. I played that.
And that it had the polygons. It really tried the three-dimensional aspect to the game, which was kind of 94 ahead of its time.
Yeah, it was. But the other thing, too, is it actually took on real style driving, in terms of how the steering would operate,
Less
how
arcade.
the acceleration would be,
Real physics.
Real physics behind driving generally, and the program allowed you to make tracks.
Oh, yeah, that's
wow.
right.
Track editor.
Create the whole world.
Track
awesome.
editor and everything. So, of course, now your whole world is open, right?
Right.
When were these games released?
Stunts in 94.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was my go-to. I mean, between this and Wolfenstein, I was playing that all the time.
That's all you needed.
Yeah.
You had polygons and rifles,
Yeah.
as you were.
Just amazes me that they were thinking in those terms well before the days of Gran Turismo and Forza, these realistic car sims that we have now.
Yeah.
And here these guys were doing it, 20 some odd years ago.
A little before, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, realistic driving.
And all that time going back to it, it was Sim City, it was Railroad Tycoon and Flight Sims, and then we had Broderbund, Carmen Sandiego. These guys were all competing hugely with the 286s where the turbo buttons didn't work. You remember those?
Sure do.
Maybe had a mouse with your keyboard. It didn't matter. You didn't need it with Carmen Sandiego. Push button.
I think by the time that came out, had
a mouse.
Yeah, the computers had a mouse.
You
with
could click to turkey.
Yeah. The thing with Carmen Sandiego's, it was more on the educational side than anything.
Right. You had to learn about geography, and that's
Yeah.
why it was in our school programs. My class had a bunch of Commodore 64s, a computer lab, which was unheard of back in those days. And you go in as a class, and whatever a computer class, you learn one game with the triangle. You learn how to code that one.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And then you played Carmen Sandiego when you were done. Or
So
book it.
That was
probably
the reward.
He probably played the 85 version, but
yeah.
the one I played was in 92. They re-released the original version, all dressed up, better graphics and everything. And that's the one that I think most people sort of latched onto.
Yeah, the first one, for sure.
Definitely me.
It wasn't as fancy.
Same. Yeah, I didn't play Carmen Sandiego until I learned about it through the show.
Oh,
we used to-
the
we
TV
used to
shows,
watch
You
the
did it
show.
backwards.
Yeah, we used to
Interesting.
watch a show at PBS on every Wednesday or Thursday, whatever it was, when we got home. And then somewhere I was in like a microplay or something, and I saw, oh hey, there's a Carmen Sandiego game, and that's when I got a chance to play it. It's cool times.
I know
Yeah.
nothing about geography, but that lady in trench coat, she looks like fun.
Definitely had to catch her.
I love that TV show. That TV show was a lot of fun. I would watch it, and then I'd be like, shouting out the answers and thinking, man, if I was on there, I'd be doing so good because I know where all the places
It's
are.
like Jeopardy.
When they had to like run around and place those little beacons or whatever,
Oh, yeah.
like during the final segment, I was like, yeah, I was super excited for that game show.
You would have won the grand prize of $500 or a new Tandy.
Well, hey, when you're a kid, like any amount over $0 is a huge prize.
Or to be on TV and meeting Carmen.
Oh,
Would be awesome.
I didn't care about the being on TV or anything. It was just
It's just the game.
a fun
just to play
competition.
the game.
Just being right is all that mattered.
Yeah.
And it was fun seeing kids do it, right? I mean,
Sure.
Yeah.
and it was pretty challenging within its own right, too, right?
Yeah, would you believe it lasted something like 5 seasons?
For a show,
good.
that's
Yeah,
pretty good.
for that show. And then they brought out
game show.
another version of it. I think was Where in Time.
Oh,
Was
yeah.
Another,
Doesn't
yeah,
do
yeah.
as well, I don't think.
I don't know how many seasons I did offhand, but I've never seen that one. I've seen.
I thought they actually had like a cartoon, like
Yeah,
not
there
just
was
a
a
cartoon
cartoon,
show,
too.
but there was like a
Yeah.
cartoon. I don't think the cartoon did well.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to say it was good, but I don't
It was
know.
competing with the Super Mario Brothers, I believe, at the time, and there's no way you can compete with that.
There's
no way.
Brought the Super Mario
Real life
Princess,
Mario and
please.
Luigi? Are you kidding? You can't
Or was
compete
it
with
Please
that.
Princess, whatever.
And then you'd hop right to the cartoon. It was magic. Yeah, those are good times. Sorry, Carmen. You had your moment. What is this Chopper game?
Oh,
Chris,
that's the Chopper? Yeah.
82?
Yeah, so in 82, I mean, keep in mind things are pretty basic. So the original game was made for the Apple II, even though the version I played was for Commodore 64. But
Ported,
anyway,
sure.
it's simple. You fly the chopper, land at designated areas, rescue the people, evade being shot by planes and tanks, and you make your way to the base and drop them off. You get points for that, right?
Sure. Trying to blow
But
anything up. Got
It's very simple, and it's considered to be the first interactive computer-assisted animated movie with the way
Oh.
that the characters are running.
Oh, wow.
Because when you land the chopper, the characters come out from where the building are, and they're running towards the chopper to load into there.
In
And I
82,
guess
that was big deal.
that hadn't happened. Yeah.
Really? So
Yeah.
they kind of just, the animation's more sense than the movie thematics and what have you is pretty cool in 82. And the Apple II, I guess it could handle it.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, the
70s.
Apple II, I think, that was their chosen platform
Hmm.
for the longest time. And the reason why Broderbund made such an impact on the market, not so much in the games, but because they were available on all platforms.
Right. And that was, back then, pretty huge.
Yeah.
So it's not like, we were talking about that before in previous episodes, but it's all the different computers have different graphics and different DPI and resolution and different screen size. So you have to make these games and port them for very specific machines, which is a pain in the butt.
Well, it's just like very similar to cell phone development now, right? Like you're developing mobile games, and if you're on something like Android, you've got dozens of devices that you potentially have to support.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more development than just having to make it for one machine.
Or even if you do Android and iOS, it's still complex to make it for just one. There's certain similarities, certain differances.
Well, I
it's still a pain in the butt.
Even iOS, it's like there's so many versions of the iPhone out there, right? So even if you had, let's say an Apple computer, right? Because they made so many different versions of their machine over time, you still had some complexity versus just making it run on this one specific machine.
It's complex to be able to do this on all platforms.
Yeah, especially in the early 80s.
Even from the beginning,
right?
yeah.
Pain.
It wasn't until about the early 90s when they started making more stuff for the IBM compatible, though.
Mm-hmm. Is that when IBM compatible kind of came out there and tried pushing the market somewhere around there? Late 80s, early 90s?
I would say probably early 90s is when there was a huge sort of resurgence, I guess, with IBM compatibles. Because after that, or before that, the other companies, the 8-bit computers like Commodore or Radio Shack or whatever, they basically lost the market.
Pretty much. And then, Radio Shack, rest is history. Sorry. They were good in their day when they had dot matrix printers, but not now.
Well, I mean, radio, like even towards the end there, if you want to say, if you were like a hobbyist, right? Like a maker, you like tinkering with like electronics and stuff like that. Great source for lots of components and
the science kits.
Yeah.
And I do believe Radio Shack still exists in the States, yeah?
Yeah, sort of.
For the time being, anyway. I think they're under bankruptcy protection or something.
Yeah, they're not doing as well,
stores.
but their heyday did well.
Yeah, it's just changing of the times.
Sure.
I still think that they could have been more relevant, but with online shopping and Amazon, it's just not.
Yeah, those big ones, you can get groceries to science kits shipped to your home.
I mean, my pie I ordered off of the websites, right?
Sure.
So, I mean...
It came with a kit and everything, DC plug.
And to be fair, I would have actually gone to a store locally
if
there was somebody selling it.
So with your arcade machine that you're making, are you going to make a special portion of it to be where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Floppy drives or just have an emulator?
Yeah, no, it'll be an emulator. On the Pi.
You are building that still, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Sure.
Are you building a cabinet?
Yeah, I'm building a cabinet.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
He's got the buttons and the joysticks.
Because I want to build one.
I got the joystick package already.
He just needs the wood and the screen, and then he can build it.
Yeah, I got the screen.
I have ideas. We need to speak about this.
Okay.
It's been a dream of mine, too, to have a cabinet machine.
Build two.
Sure, they're small.
Yeah, okay. If you can pull off a pinball machine, I'll be right alongside with you. Maybe Ghostbusters. No pressure.
Not to knock how awesome those things are. I would just be quite happy with one of those SNES retros that Nintendo's releasing.
Right.
Probably just in time for Christmas.
Probably.
Oh, they are coming out, aren't they?
Yeah.
That'd be okay. They have a decent selection of games. I'll let you have it. NES one.
One of the best selection of games you could get on an SNES.
Well, when Sega decided they wanted to have 80 games or something like that, then it was over and you had to compete. Okay, fine. I guess I'll put out 100 SNES games. Nintendo caved. And off they go.
They should. There's no reason why they can't.
Well, there's no reason why they couldn't put like their entire library on there, other than cheap and lazy. I don't know. No, it's more a case of they probably do a certain amount of spit and polish on the ROMs to make sure that they're functional and integrated and everything like that. But yeah, it's I don't think Nintendo's ever seen a microtransaction or a Nintendo store that they didn't try to sell you the same game like 5 times.
Right, or the resellers of the used stuff. That was
those guys are just like pirates on the open seas.
They love it. Yeah, they're still going strong.
Yeah, but like you're paying like $100 for some of these old games easy, just because of demand and scarcity.
And yet Chris can just buy a few joysticks and knobs and buttons and a box and a screen and poof,
Yeah.
little Raspberry Pi.
And recreate the 80s and 90s anytime you want.
Pretty much, yeah.
To miss arcades.
I'd like to do steering wheel
I agree.
and a seat. I don't know. That'll be a
I'd
bit.
love that, yeah.
I'd never leave.
So I was in Montreal recently, and I actually got an opportunity to step inside an arcade.
Like a retro arcade or VR arcade?
There was a few retro machines. Yeah, retro arcade in terms of using
Like
machines
cabinets and-
yeah, exactly.
Pinball machines.
And there's a lot more driving games than anything. But one thing I noticed, they had a Mario Kart DX driving game, which I thought was
What?
pretty amazing. Yeah. So Mario Kart's coming to the mainstream that way as well.
Have you not seen the promo video floating around on the internet for Mario Kart VR?
I have not.
It looks pretty amazing.
That sounds
For
like
what platform?
I could die happy once I play
Any
that.
chance? You know?
I don't know. Like, I don't know if they're just releasing it for VR platforms or if they're going to do some type of interactive arcade machine.
Oh.
I think Namco's the ones coding it.
Nice.
I'm not 100%
So
sure.
that'll
but-
be the new arcades, and it's finally coming. Talked about this too. Surprise, but VR arcade machines. Yes, please.
Yeah, well, yeah, I did that a little while ago.
You did VR?
Yeah, placing for a friend's birthday party. We went to Kitchener, Ontario. Well, technically Waterloo, Ontario. I apologize, Kitchener, Waterloo.
It's where somewhere where
don't get mad at
Google-ish
me.
is in
Yeah,
Canada. There we go.
It's
Close
and
enough.
it was like ominous. I thought it was like Control Z or something like that. And it's a VR arcade where there's like 16 booths, and you just pay like $20 an hour or whatever, and you can kind of book like groups. So obviously everyone still has to pay their share, but you can. We had a group of 8, and we went in there and we could play games together, or we could just go off and play our own games. And there's a selection of things, and so we just did VR for an hour, and it was a good time.
Mario Kart VR?
That
yet.
was not available.
Not yet.
No.
Are they known games, or are they just?
Well, I don't know if there's really anything on VR that's a known game or so far, right? Like it's a case of a lot of these titles are pretty I wouldn't say low budget, but like the whole genre, I guess you could say, of VR is just starting, right?
Yes,
I know a lot of people are just taking some existing games like Skyrim and like, okay, let's put VR into it.
Yeah,
But
being lazy.
yeah, like developing brand new VR games, it's, there's a lot of work going into that. So
Imagine Mavis Beacon typing in VR.
virtual typing.
virtual typing.
Yeah,
So Mavis is teaching me how to type, and she's right in front of me. But I prefer the old one better. Do you know Broderbund made that game?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
I-
would you really call it a game, or is it more like
Productivity
like
software.
Yeah, I guess software, fine. It's
Yeah.
floppy drive.
If it goes into a floppy drive, it's a good time. Is that what you were trying to say?
It could be a game.
Okay.
Is there cake?
Well, I know it definitely was a game trying to get a lot of these things to work back in the day with the
Load
floppy drives.
8. Star.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think some of these productivity stuff came out later when they had CD-ROMs.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, Print Shop series, Print Maker, Family Tree Maker, 3D Home Architect, like those are all Broderbund.
Yeah, you don't think of Broderbund for that
Yeah.
stuff that they did.
My dad loved Family Tree Maker. Well, I'm sure he still has it because he would do our genealogy back. Like, I think he could trace it back at least some branches of it, like 200-300 years, something like that.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah.
I tried to get my name back to 1500s, 1600s. I don't know if it's all 100%, but then there's, in the States, there's a big collection, I guess, of folks with the same last name. And then in Canada, and I can't find.
The connection?
Yeah. It's like we're just, all of a sudden, it just drops off between somewhere. Drives me nuts. You've done a whole bunch of that too, Chris.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Did you
I'm
use
familiar.
the program?
Not this program, no. I have used a program in the past, and I don't remember if it was Broderbund's.
Family Tree Maker?
Yeah. I don't know.
Is it still in existence?
I don't know if Family Tree Maker is. There's versions of it. Now you can go into a website and play monthly fee, and then it's all there for you.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Like, I'm sure there is but there is like the big sites now, like Ancestry.com and everything
That's
like
the
that.
one.
Yeah, that's the one.
With the
I'm
leaf.
on. Yeah.
Who knew?
Cool.
Family comes from your leaf. This logo. I'm
Well,
trying to
if
put a
Broderbund
connection.
did like a sex ed program, you should have downloaded that one because apparently you're missing a few details. in
Leisure
there.
Suit Larry, was that it?
No,
The
that
wrong
new-
company.
new-
Wrong, yeah,
and the
just
only
kidding.
thing you learn from Leisure Suite Larry is don't be Larry. That's pretty much it.
That is the
true,
lesson of
true.
every game.
White suits are not for everybody, nor are the comments that come out of his mouth. You get hit a lot, not handshakes, but some people like that sort of thing. Take what you can get.
I guess that is contact of one sort or another.
Yeah, it's and
Yeah,
going to
true.
jail, whatever.
Guess
Larry
any
had a good
attention is
time.
good attention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess. Poor guy. What was your favorite game, Chris? Broderbund. Was it Carmen, or do you have to go with Lode Runner? Or
Well, I
Prince
would say
Persia?
I would say Stunts. That's the one
Yeah?
that I played all the time.
Not usually a huge racing guy, so it's kind of nice to see we're on the same page for once.
Yeah, no, I
good.
love the racing. But you know what? Not a lot of people realize the Prince of Persia series is done by this company, right?
Sure.
When they had created it, the guy that made the game itself, right? He wanted realistic moves, so he filmed his brother jumping and playing in the park or whatever with a video camera, and then tried to render that on the computer screen and made a graphic out of it.
89?
Yeah,
Say what?
Yeah.
That's cool.
What? When they all
early mocap. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
So they didn't have the little white dots on you clearly back
yeah,
then.
like they're not using Stickman. They're not using like it. It actually it wasn't so that it didn't have detail. It was that it was fluid in its movement. That's the key part.
So could he actually take the video and put it on the computer, or would you think he just had an animator or something try to?
well,
recreate?
it's animated based on the movement. Like he was using it sort of as
A reference,
a reference
really. Still.
point, or like a.
That wasn't thought of then.
No,
Neat.
it wasn't.
If you do look at even the first Prince of Persia, it surprisingly looks good. Like the movement of the characters and the little fights and everything for its time. It's quite impressive. Like how ahead of everything else it was.
Like the
Because-
climbing, the climbing sequences alone. When you're going up the platforms,
Right.
that's all like human, like exact, right?
Examples from his brother jumping around and
Yeah.
playing in the backyard.
Yeah.
Who knew?
And then the part where you're stopping yourself and you're sliding.
That's hard to recreate as
Yeah,
well. Get a
exactly.
little dust.
So I feel like these guys had to be a pioneer in terms of how games looked more realistic with the movement.
Remember playing Broderbund games, Harv?
Yeah, I was a big Prince of Persia fan. More two than one, but I really enjoyed those a lot back in the day. And Carmen Sandiego for sure.
Yeah, that
Those were staples in my
Big ones.
childhood for sure.
a lot of time spent.
Yeah, yeah. I was so happy to see when Prince of Persia carried on because there was a bit of a drought there for a while, and there was it the PlayStation 2? I think was the next release. I can't remember which system it was on, but it just made me so happy that they continued on that.
Yeah,
awesome story.
93 is when the second one came out.
Yeah, yeah. So it was a good gap.
And that one was by far, like better graphics,
Oh.
better story. Like they put
Miles
a lot
ahead.
of thought into this.
Yeah.
This is like their baby.
Mm-hmm.
Between the Prince of Persia series and Myst is probably what they're known for.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of Myst, mainly because I loved computer games, but my parents weren't very keen on supporting my computer addiction. But one of the few games they did buy me was Myst and its sequel Riven, because they were not just super popular, but they were also seen as very smart games, like games where you weren't just running around shooting things like Doom or Quake or whatever, but things where you had to kind of use your brain and solve puzzles
Yeah.
and a real thinking. Not strategy, but definitely a lot more of a brain tease than some, trigger games out there.
It's nice too. If parents are going to support your habit and they feel you're learning,
Yeah.
let them feel you're learning. A couple of keyboard strokes later, it's good. Do you remember what game system, what computer system you played Myst on?
It would have been just some
Apple II?
No. It would have been some kind of IBM type.
yeah, probably
definitely
like a
IBM.
386 or something.
Putting you
Yeah.
on the spot, not
Yeah.
fair, but I was just curious.
Yeah, no, because it was a little bit later and it was, on CD-ROMs and everything like that. So,
386, 46, something like that.
somewhere
like
in
that.
there.
yeah, probably I'd guess a 486, but again, it's been years, right?
Well, when the game first came out, I don't think CD-ROMs were like as prevalent in the market.
Fair.
So this game apparently was, I guess, the catalyst to people buying more CD-ROMs so that
Probably.
they can go play the game.
yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I remember in grade 6, so I'm not sure where that puts me.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah,
We'll go with grade 6.
we had our one computer in our library that had the internet, and
Was it dial-up?
it was, sure
Yeah,
was,
of course.
56K, and it had a CD-ROM, and even though they weren't allowed, we had done the job of loading up Wolfenstein and Myst on there, and hours of fun were had for sure.
From Usenet groups, and then make ISO, and then burn it.
No, I think we
mean,
were
we
able to
would do
get
that.
physical copies of them.
That wasn't a thing.
Yeah, that was not a thing. You couldn't load up ISO.
Telnet, buddy.
He was going to go with it.
if
If
you're-
Art was all over it. He's like, yeah, totally.
If
Went back in
you're
time.
Lucky there's Telnet.
Exactly.
BPS. There's no files like that. 56K you couldn't download.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
know,
portions.
overnight.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Maybe.
Over the weekend. Nobody needs the phone. It's
if you had
fine.
enough time.
Grandma
Yeah.
doesn't call. It's good.
Oh yeah, how many times have I upset my sisters and my parents when they pick up the phone and it just starts
hear that
screeching
squelching?
at them?
Yes.
Nathan, get off the phone.
Yeah, so then in an attempt they get call waiting so that people can get through, but then you star 67 or something like that, and you can disable it.
Right.
Oh, right.
And then you had to put some settings on your modem so that
Yeah,
you
to
could get
do it.
around it. Or
Yeah.
it do something weird with the modem where it just hang for a second. You pick up the phone, hello, put it back down, and then go back to business. Trickery.
Yeah.
Did you do a lot of LAN parties with Broderbund games, Chris?
No.
Nothing?
No, I didn't do any of that.
Well,
Come on,
I'm
come to
not-
San Diego. Who wouldn't want to?
Was there such a thing as LAN parties back then?
they're all
I don't
one player.
I'm not sure that the games were capable of
I
it.
think
either.
stunts may have been 2-player, maybe.
the most you got
Through a serial, probably.
Right.
was at school, because Carmen Sandiego was one of those approved to play educational titles. You know, you have that computer time, so like the whole class is, playing Carmen Sandiego. So then you're all like having that collaborative moment where it's like, what's the answer to this question, or whatever the case may be? Does anyone know what the currency of Romania is? Like, just
Everybody goes, hey, Nathan. Yeah. He's beat the game like 12 times. It must have been an honor. They gave you a dollar store trophy. Here you go, buddy. Thanks for helping us out learn Carmen Sandiego.
I like your revisionist history. No trophies were given in elementary school for my Carmen Sandiego knowledge.
You just got a participation ribbon.
No ribbons either.
Yeah, we did have first and last place back then, didn't we? It's good.
There was a time.
Yeah, back in the day. Hard to remember.
Oh yeah,
People did award you for being first and hate you for being last.
it's true.
I think
gotta be.
people still reward you for being first and hate you for being last. It's just normally in like professional sports and things like that, not necessarily the kids' soccer game or
Right.
whatever.
Esports definitely rewarded.
Mhm.
Those are giant
Yeah.
LAN parties, and they're lovely. It's good. Do you have a favorite? You Prince of Persia, that's it?
Yeah, that and Carmen Sandiego, I think.
That's enough, too? It's good.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of games on that list, and those are what I remember fondly on
What about you, Elijah?
Yeah,
you
what-
haven't answered the
Carmen
question.
Sandiego,
all the way.
all over it.
Oh, geez.
There was a Canadian, the two games that we had, Carmen Sandiego, and then there was this Canadian trucking game that I remember on floppy disk. I
Oh,
don't remember
yeah.
what it was. And those were the two we had to choose from. They varied a little bit, doing, truck driving. You got to pick up supplies, and then you go over to time shifting, and where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? had good
Lemonade
memories.
and Lemonade Stand and like this desert island shipwrecked game. Those were two of the main ones we played, other than Carmen Sandiego at school.
They didn't
Oh,
compete
yeah.
at all.
Is
That's
that a text-based one? The
What?
shipwreck one where you have to
No,
collect the water?
it had simple graphics, but
Yeah.
for the most part, text. Yeah.
Yeah.
Today, what are you gonna do? You have this many days of food, this many days of
So
water.
you had to do fish and you had to collect water, right? Something
yeah,
like that.
but then there'd be like
It's like
you
Brie.
could
Yeah,
go
I
into
think I
the there'd be sharks in the water, and you could go like, I don't know, I can't remember why you were going into the water to collect pieces of like a raft or something like that.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Kill the locals.
Yeah, lemonade.
Ditch them in the
stand.
water. What a cruel game. I don't know. I really enjoyed Carmen Sandiego, Broderbund, and all these games. It's a good time to go back in the past, talk about Chris's arcade machine, if he ever builds one, because I really want to play it. And then the next one, we'll build one with the driver's seat, steering wheel, and then everybody can have some fun. Harv will drive, and we can just build more games, machines.
Love it. Let's do it.
Barcade.
Barcade, indeed.
There's a factory. Maybe they'll let us build stuff for them and play them.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Talk to Angela, see what she does.
We don't even want money. We just want to build it and let us play
Just
for
have
free.
a tournament.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's Mario Kart DX. That's all we need.
That's it.
Right. What we need is to take a break, play some games on the weekend. For you, need to check out letusgetnerdy.com. Hit our Patreon website, patreon.com/nerdybynature. Throw us $1 a month. That gets you early access. You can be a superhuman, and life is a party. Check out all the rewards. They're a good time. Harv, Chris, Nathan, Elijah, a good time as well. See you soon. Well, like all good things, they must come to an end, my friends. Another show is in the books, and we had so much fun starting the weekend off right, just with you. Nerdy by Nature here with you, discovering the world around us, learning new things, and having a great conversation. Couldn't get to everything, though, in this episode, so please head over to letusgetnerdy.com, check out the show notes, the research, and all the extras. Just couldn't fit in today. While you're there, feel free to subscribe, Android or iOS. It's all good. If you want to say hi, leave a comment below the notes or click on Contact Us, whichever your heart desires. If you want to get crazy and social and right into it with us, please do. Head over to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, search up Let Us Get Nerdy, won't you? Hashtag, @mention us, say some cool stuff, or call us out. For Nerdy by Nature, thank you so much for listening. Take care.